Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Go Figure Customs YouTube channel. I am back in the United States. I am no longer working in Ukraine. Now I'm working in Africa again. My contract I knew was expiring, so I jumped ship before it sank and got back on with the company that I worked for previously for a number of years. Working on an oil rig off the coast of Africa in Equatorial Guinea. Shorter rotations, so I'll be home more often. And hopefully that means more videos. And as usual, I came home to a whole bunch of new toys. So I got my Kickstarter for Boss Fight Toys, the horses. I just opened up my Joytoy PLA Special Forces box. I'll do a review on those guys shortly. I broke down and got the hover tank from Star Wars because they're $30 on Amazon. I got one of the 1/24th scale mechs from Joytoys, just to see how it would look with 1/18th scale guys. I think it works fine. Of course, it won't hold somebody, but I think it works like for like role play. It works for like a like you can pretend that the mech is controlled by an AI, or it could be a remote operated vehicle. Red Bull. Oh man, I missed this while I'm gone. If you want to endorse me, Red Bull, please do. What else did I get while I was gone? A new Acid Rain figure. Probably do a review on that. I did a review on this last time before I left one of the other figures, not realizing that I didn't get both figures in the set, so I went ahead and got that other figure. And then I bought a bunch of blisters for my custom cards. I bought like 25 custom blisters, which will not even come close to the amount that I need from Empire Blisters, who I highly recommend. I think that's about all I got for this time, but that's plenty. What I'm going to review today is the PLA Special Forces. Well, they're both PLA Special Forces. I don't remember if these are the Marines. I don't know which specific set. It just says PLA Special Forces. So here's the box. It's a set of 3 guys. The interior boxes are just kind of plain, nondescript. They come in the nice tubes that stack nicely, so they can stack to make displays, which I think is fantastic. Sorry, Red Bull. Let's see here. So this is a set of 3 guys, not a set of 5 or 6 like we're used to seeing. Although there has been a couple of sets of 3 guys come out previously. The Russian set, which is just repaints of previously released figures, which I did not get. I just didn't. The interest wasn't there. I already have the Russian figures, and I didn't need more of those. But these new PLA, which is People's Liberation Army, I believe, so they're Chinese, figures are fantastic. So here is figure A. Unfortunately, my holster keeps popping off, but it just pegs right back in. I'm probably just going to glue that down. Of course, the pistol's removable on it. These are new. It's a new sculpt on the right thigh pad, so it's got magazines there. The belt is new. It's got carabiners there that actually you could clip something onto them. Shotgun shells on the back. And this one comes with an interchangeable head. So where is So one guy comes with an interchangeable head. One guy, they stick in a bunch of extra joints. Here's the extra head. So I probably will. My only kind of gripe with this is that it's not a removable helmet, but then again, you know, I like the chin strap and that's going to get glued on. I do like the chin strap and the sunglasses, so I think the interchangeable head is nice, but I kind of would like a removable helmet at the same time, so kind of 50-50 on that one. New weapon. I am not up on my Chinese weapons to tell you what model that is, but it's got a grenade launcher there on it, and I think the biggest improvement on, let's see if this is one of the figures that they made the improvement on. I think the groin on this is sculpted a little different so they can sit a little easier. Might not be this one that they were working on. I don't have one of the older figures with me to see if, I think they've changed the groin so the legs come together a little closer so they can sit. The gear was already on this figure when I opened it, so I didn't have to sit down and spend half an hour assembling that, which I really like. The coolest thing I think about this set of figures is, wait for it, a removable backpack. Now, if you're a G.I. Joe collector, like I am, and have been playing with G.I. Joes your whole life, you'll have been pegging in backpacks since you were a little kid. You know, the old G.I. Joe figures, vintage G.I. Joe figures, what would happen over time is if you played with your figures a lot, is that hard plastic would eventually wear out the hole in the back and your backpack wouldn't stay on very well. In fact, some of the figures I had as a kid, the backpack never stayed on well to begin with. This has actual straps and was very well thought out and fits perfectly over the body armor. The plastic is soft enough that it isn't going to break on it, and also the straps are not molded to the backpack. It's not one solid piece. The straps are pegged in, so if you break a strap, if a strap comes off, which it has on one of my PLA figures, I can just put a dab of glue in there and I can glue it back in. The plastic feels a little softer in the upper arms. I did not heat these up. Again, I said I've not been heating these up to loosen the joints. I think the plastic feels a little softer in the figures, which is going to be a lot nicer for the joints. So I think this was the first set where they took some of the feedback from the customers and implemented changes. So the legs are a bit more narrow, the plastic is a bit more softer for the joints. It has a working backpack that's not sculpted to the body armor like they have been previously, and there's a little peg here. I think that peg is still glued in, unfortunately, because I've lost a couple pegs on other stuff, other figures. But the weapon fits very nicely with it. And he's got a little scarf. My helmeted head doesn't sit on the neck ball very well. I might have to Dremel that head out just a little hair to get it to sit a little better. And there's a bit of a new sculpt on the crotch too, which I really like. The straps are nice. So all in all, I think this is a fantastic figure. The only thing I don't like, of course, is not being a communist. I'm not particularly fond of the Republic of China flag on there. But being a customizer, touch of paint and a water slide decal, and this guy is no longer a Chinese soldier. He's a U.S. Special Forces soldier. So and I'll need to fix the thigh holster on mine because that doesn't want to stay in. Just attach it, a dab of glue will be fine. So the things that I normally review are packaging. You know, and this goes for all the Joytoy figures. My review is pretty much the same thing on all of the figures as far as packaging. Yes, it comes in some nice packaging. I do not buy these things to leave in the package. I do buy figures now and again to keep on the card, like vintage Star Wars figures. I love how the vintage Star Wars figures look on cards. So I do keep a lot of my Star Wars stuff on cards. Some of the G.I. Joe stuff, I do like to keep some of my G.I. Joe stuff on cards. And of course, I'm carding all of my customs, hopefully this year. So, you know, all of my customs are going to go on cards. But I buy these specifically to play with these guys. And one of the things I almost forgot to mention is there's a carabiner on his vest that his weapon will peg into. It's supposed to. Anyway, I've seen it. I think the plastic may be a little too soft to go through that tiny hole. That might need to. There, it'll peg into his weapon, which I think is an awesome feature. The hole is a little too tight on that to just slide right in, but again, that's an easy fix for me as a customizer. Sorry, my puppy wants to go outside and bother, chew on sticks and eat poop, which you're not going to do. So keeping it in the package, not really a thing. The one thing that I do like is the figure tubes that they come in make a nice display case. So you can make a whole rack of these things once you get enough of them, and then you can buy them individually now. I think you buy them like sets of 3. So even if you did want to display these guys, which I know a lot of people do, that's really a fantastic way to do them because they interlock, and you make as high as you want, you make as long as you want, and it's a real nice stable way to display them. And the plexiglass tubes look really nice, honestly. So that is figure A. Playability is off the charts on this, as far as I'm concerned. The joints don't feel like they're going to break. I don't feel like I needed to heat the joints up on this guy. The interchangeable heads, like I said, I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I like the fact that he's got sunglasses and a sculpted strap, but at the same time, I kind of like having removable helmets, so I can go either way on that one. I like the carabiners that will hold his weapons, because I can get any kind of other weapon for him and put it on that. Customizing, I think these things will make awesome custom fodder in the future. They are kind of pricey for that. I think the set goes for just over $74 at Big Bad Toy Store. I got mine from Locker Toys. So it probably has a little bit of coronavirus on it, which is fantastic. But as a medic, I'm not too concerned about it. What else? So, set of 3. This is one of the first sets that, I did buy a second set of seals. So and it came in a set of 6. So I might splurge and get a second set of these guys because I really like these guys. I really like the color scheme on them. The weapons are fantastic. The sculpt is awesome. I like the improvements that they've made because the plastic does feel a little softer. The joints do feel, the toe joints on these guys work a lot better. I think they've really sat down and listened to customers and made some modifications and made some improvements. Like I said, the plastic feels just a little bit softer, which means that it's going to be a lot easier on your joints. So this is the second guy. No interchangeable head, but I like the balaclava. The backpack, again, is removable. I've already put it on. The only thing that's different is a different weapon. This one has the pistol grip, the foregrip instead of the grenade launcher like the other guy. Removable pistol. This one is pegged in a little bit better. Again, the backpack does come off. I think the straps are fantastic. I love this. I wish that's how Hasbro had been doing G.I. Joe backpacks. That's how they should have been doing them for years now. Of course, you know, like I said, the only thing that I don't like is the not being a communist. I don't particularly care for the Republic of China flag on there, but being a customizer, that's an easy fix for me. So that's figure B. Same sculpt, just a different head and different weapon. I think the backpack might be a slightly different color. No, it's the same color. So that's the second figure. And then here's the third one. The same gear, basically different helmet, different sculpted head, and then this one comes with a kind of a bullpup style sniper's rifle. So that's your sniper. Otherwise, everything is identical to him as on the other two figures. I like that sniper rifle. I think that's pretty cool. The Chinese make some interesting weapons, so I probably won't swap it out for another one. The joints again feel really nice on this with the softer plastic. I think they have outdone themselves on listening to customer complaints and QA/QC problems they've had with previous figures, and have potentially solved them with this particular wave of figures, because these I do not feel like I would break, that these are fragile like some of the other figures that I've had. Again, I probably wouldn't let little kids play with these, but you know, I would be a little more. I would lower my age range on who I would say these are good for. You know, the previous sets I said they're adult collectors only, but you know, I think any kid that has broken a toy and wants to and is careful with their figures, because you know I definitely broke one of my, let's see, it was the Bespin Princess Leia when I was a kid. I snapped the head off on her and asked my dad to fix it. He just super glued the head back on so it wouldn't swivel anymore. I'm like, well, you didn't fix it. You just glued it back on. I want it to move. He's like, well, you can't do that. So that's one of the things that probably got me into customizing. I'm like, yeah, I could have fixed that myself if I was old enough. So I think having a bit of respect for the toys, you break one of your figures and figure out that you can't fix it yet, but you know it probably could. You're a little more careful with your stuff. I was definitely more careful with my action figures after having broken one of mine. So I think any of the kids that are careful enough with their toys, I think these will be fine for them, whereas I would not have recommended that previously on these figures. I think they've done a good job with quality improvement on these. I highly recommend these. Once again, I think these are a set of figures not to be missed. The set of 3 makes it a little bit more affordable. I do think I am probably going to splurge and get a second set of these guys. And just to show you one of the reasons why I got that Mech, even though it's not 1/18 scale. So here's the Mech with some 1/18 scale guys. I think that works really nice. The color scheme is the same as those figures. I don't see, you know, obviously one of these guys isn't going to fit inside, but you know, if the Mech is AI controlled or remote controlled, I don't really need a guy inside of it to play with it how I want to play with it. And this Mech is amazing. I mean, I really need to do a review on this, but because how much detail there is on this thing, and just the parts and pieces that come off and are interchangeable, and it's just fantastic. I haven't even figured out all the stuff that it will do. But this is one of the reasons why I got that Mech, is it goes just fine with these figures. What are the main things that I always talk about? The packaging. Yeah, I think the packaging, I like the art on the box. I think they, but I don't get these things to keep in the package. Do I think these things are going to go up in value? They're not. I don't think they're ever going to reach like vintage G.I. Joe, vintage Star Wars prices. But eventually, these are going to become harder and scarcer to get, and there will be a price increase on these at some point in time. So, do you want to get these as an investment? I've never been good at toy speculation, so I can't really say. Playability, off the chart on these guys. The improvements that they have made are fantastic and immediately noticeable compared to some of the older figures. Customizability, yeah, absolutely. These things will make fantastic customs. I don't think that you need to customize these to make them good, but I think as fodder, I think they're a little expensive for fodder figures, but I probably myself would not buy these to customize, specifically to customize, just due to they are a bit more expensive. But I really do like the playability on these. So customizing, yeah, the potential is definitely there, but I don't know that I think the price point is inhibitive on that. And boy, I don't know what else to tell you about these figures other than they've really taken something that has already been a decent figure, a decent product, and they've found a way to make it better. So stay tuned for further reviews of some of the other stuff that I got while I was gone. And thanks for watching. Of course, share, like, subscribe, and comment. And thanks for watching.